Bum, 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 bum. Yahoo! It's a celebration. Celebrate good time. Come on. What's going on? How are you today? I am Courtney Rollins, the host of the Life in Transitions Experts YouTube channel, podcast, Facebook group here where I help families or help people going through some of the biggest transitions in life. I like to say I'm the life and transition property expert, whether you're going through divorce or perhaps you're facing foreclosure or perhaps you're facing uh, the passing away of someone and now you're dealing with the estate in either probate or trust administration or other means. There's sometimes questions and problems and challenges that I try to provide as many solutions to. And today I'm talking about actually one of my favorite topics. As I've been in this world of probate and estate planning, it has become clearer and clearer to me, and almost like my mission to help as many people as possible recognize how important estate planning is and how empowering it is and it can be. Actually, one of my old college friends and buddies reached out to me recently and was discussing some of the property and some of the assets in her family's name. And they're thinking about, as they should be, what happens when their grandma and other people pass away? What are they going to do with the property? How are they going to make sure it's protected? And I was so glad to hear that people were thinking about it, and it made me think about some of the past podcasts I've done and some of the tips that are out there to help people come up with proper estate planning. In fact, this wasn't my idea. I was actually speaking to another client a while back, and she said she had a will party, is I think how she described it, with her family, where she sat down all her family members and they set up their wills. And I was like, that is an amazing idea, amazing to have that conversation with your family where you actually have a party where you sit down and you discuss with with your loved ones what are the next steps. In fact, I think it's something that should be done on an annual basis. It is a great way for you and your family to think about what your family means to each other. What does it mean to be a Rollins or who you are? Matter of fact, shout out to my mom. I know it got to be her because she called me Maurice. Good afternoon, Maurice. Good afternoon, mom. Yeah, so we've actually had this conversation in our family of, what do we want to happen to our for ourselves when we pass away? How do we want that service or those things to look like? Where do we want things to go? What are our wishes? And being able to have that conversation early is so important. And again, I think it should be something that happens all the time. Yeah, and the Facebook you just said a will party, great idea. Yeah, I thought it was a great idea. So here are 10 tips for how to host or how to prepare for a family estate planning party, because we know having a will is super important, but we also know a will is still has to go through probate in almost every state. And so there's different tools and things that you can use, resources that you can use to really secure your family legacy and also really discuss and share what your family really means to each other on this earth and continue that legacy. We talk about generational wealth. Well, let's take a look at 10 things to think about to make that thing explicit. One, choose the right time. Hopefully this isn't around uh, this isn't around a time where it's someone's passed away. Quite often in families, one time they get two times they get together is during weddings and sometimes during funeral services, and that's just the nature of life happening. But it'd be great if this was happening during a time where people are just gathering. Maybe it's during your annual family reunion and all. Facebook user has to be Kiyomi. We need you to host this at the Connect. Uh, 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 oh, it's called just the Connect. That is awesome. I know she has an awesome. My sister has an awesome uh, a group or organization and event that she holds down in Atlanta that's helping people in communities have economic empowerment and connect with each other. And I would love to chat about that. Yeah, this feels like my ministry, if you will. So choosing the right time is so important. So when is the right time for you and your family members to sit down and have a legit or a calm and cool and great conversation about your legacy, about what you all stand for and what you all want to do? It's so important. So think about that. Consider the right time, and hopefully during a time of celebration and all, as opposed to a time of mourning. All right. Now, of course, show respect and empathy for everyone involved. We're talking about family, and if your family's like my family, definitely, there's definitely, I'm not definitely sure there's, we're close to each other when you're in family, and they also can breed some challenges and things of the nature. So there has to be some empathy and definitely respect when people are having these conversations, because Mama Pearl may have some wishes for that grand piano that your sister or brother or cousins them may not necessarily like and all. And so you all having disagreement is okay. Conflict can create great opportunity for some cool creative resolution, and having that conversation early is super important. And so remember, have some respect, have some empathy with and for each other when you do have the conversation. And maybe that is one of the guidelines. Whoever's facilitating the conversation, which I definitely encourage you to have a third party source to facilitate the conversation, make sure that they spell out the guidelines, or make sure you guys even come up with the guidelines together. What are some of the guidelines we're going to have today to have a productive conversation? There you go. No name calling, speaking first person only, speak for yourself. All these different things that you all may agree with that's going to allow you to have a productive conversation. I highly recommend that you do that, and you have, like I said, a third party facilitator support that, or someone that you know can trust to be in that role. You know, you could also start with a casual approach when you're actually going at it, when you're gathering the troops to be able to to have this conversation. You may have some people who can, you know, sometimes you have to plant your idea into the right hands so that their idea blossoms. You know, again, this isn't necessarily about you. It's about the bigger picture. It's about the family. It's about that legacy. So being able to have a I said a casual approach here, but whatever approach is going to be most effective is important. And that may be, you know, starting off with a, hey, perhaps we should get together, you know, next summer when we're having the McCraw family reunion. I wonder what would be a good time to, you know, talk about what we're going to do with Mama Jean's farm. You know, who you know your family, and so approaching it in a casual at the beginning is very it may be very important, and also having some fun throughout it in the is cool. When you talk about, you know, passing and transitions, it doesn't have to be a heavy, deep down, you know, subject. It is inevitable, and it is something that, you know, can bring great empowerment and sense of joy when you're able to face it, the reality of it, as opposed to, you know, trying to avoid the inevitable. Again, focusing on wishes and values. If you have a family mission statement, this is a great time to refer to it. If you don't have one, maybe a great time to create a family mission statement, or based on shared values. And that allows you to have a shared language, particularly when you have community family guidelines for the conversation, a shared language to base it on. Well, we're a family that says we stick with each other no matter what, and so making sure we know that when we sell this property, it goes out to these people for these issues is important. Or we decide to keep this property because we're a family that's going to this or that, or these are the reasons we would distribute this or that, based on your values. I can't tell you what to do or say in your family. That really depends on you and your family. So having that conversation is so important, and focusing on that is so helpful, and giving everyone an opportunity to address their concerns. You know, that is awesome, cool opportunity. Again, conflict can be very healthy if it's conflict for the sake of edifying and building and growing. Now, if you get to the point where people are just, you know, name calling and things of that nature, I highly recommend that you nip that in the bud, excuse me, as soon as possible. But when people have concerns that's based on, you know, the merits or the the situation, that I believe is going to be more powerful and helpful to everyone involved. So make sure everyone's concerns are addressed, because we don't want hidden concerns to come up later on down the road or after someone's passed away. This really can help avoid litigation that can tear a family apart, or even if it doesn't get into litigation, but, you know, the hurt feelings, it can really help. And respecting people having their voices heard is so important. Doesn't mean that we have to go the route that cousin JJ says, but cousin JJ got to voice his or her their opinion and their thoughts and concerns, and we treated it with empathy and respect. And I think that will go a lot longer way for JJ and everyone involved, cousin Jay and everyone involved, as opposed to it not being able to be shared. And plus, people can bring up some very valid points. That's how powerful differing opinions can be, because it again allows people to see things from different perspectives and hopefully come up with a solution that's fits the greater good. Of course, involve siblings and trusted family members and everyone that's involved. This may be a extended family where we're talking about cousins and everyone, or it may just be the nuclear family. But definitely, if you're talking about, uh, I definitely would highly recommend it be the at least the siblings and the parents if it's you're talking about a nuclear family, or maybe you have aging parents and you want to have this conversation sooner than later. Definitely have those folks involved. Yes, make sure you have really everyone who has a stakeholder involved in this. I would even recommend that the children hear and see this so that they can understand and see how important legacy and family is. All right. Yeah. Now you may have family members who may need some support or assistance when it comes to thinking about their concerns for their estate or for their affairs. This may, some people may have different levels of preparedness. And so being able to have resources on hand is so important. And offering just your support as a, as a family member, shoulder to shoulder or face to face with them is super important. So be willing to have that support in place or to be able to have some professional assistance, whether it's counselors or estate professionals. In fact, the second one is suggest that you get professional advice. I, I think this is a great opportunity for estate planners, attorneys, financial planners to be in that space so that one, people can hear the same thing at the same time, and this professional or at least their company may be someone who's going to be shoulder to shoulder with your family for a while, particularly if you set up trust and other things where you have other people maybe administrating it. This is super important, and again, it's professional advice. So see if you can pull together a professional who may even be able to serve as the facilitator. There may be two different roles, but having someone who can offer advice and opinions in front of everyone at the party would be very helpful. And it takes the load off of whoever were the people who are initiating the conversation, because the people who are initiating the conversation, I'm sure, are doing it for good and valid reasons. But you also just want to be aware of people maybe assuming that, hey, they're trying to get this out for them. But I think with the tone that you set, with the values that you rest on, with the community guidelines that you have, and leveraging a professional and a facilitator can help people see that we're all coming at this for the good of the family. So yeah, have a professional there is awesome. And number nine, you don't have to get this all done at once. I highly recommend this is something done annually. That's going to be number 10, but or on a routine basis. But maybe it's something that happens throughout the year where, okay, now we're just looking at our health directive. What do we want to do if we're not resuscitated? Let's all think about this. Here's the tools. Here's the stuff we looked at. Oh, that's what you want to do. Oh, that's a good idea. Now I want to think about this is what I want to happen to me. People hear that, or making sure people know who the power of attorney is, who the health power of attorney, who the financial power of attorney are. Oh, what tools are you using in your world, in your space to make sure that your retirement is set up for this or that. This could be an extended conversation about uh, just the finances and just the structure in general, and it doesn't have to happen at once. So you can break it up into smaller pieces. And yes, follow up and revisit. I think you revisit often. This should be a national holiday where people get to sit down and have a conversation about legacy with their family and get more awareness of the tools that they can use and utilizing the tools. There's tons of tools that I have access to. If you need or want any of them, reach out to me. One I'm going to shout out now is Trust and Wills. I do have a special relationship with them and can share that discount that I have with them. It is a modern day tool that allows you to create documents, comprehensive documents for your estate, whether it's trust that transfers property into the estate. There's so many benefits for that. You really don't want to pass away with things in your name. And this is one way to protect that. And you can dictate in a great way how you want things distributed after and while you're alive. Your health directive, your powers of attorney, your will, all those things in one space for very, I think, very well, good, very good price, as well as access to lawyers, attorneys, and state professionals. I would love to support you, but there's another partnership that I just have that. Oh, actually, if you want to check out the conversation with Michael, Salazar from Trust and Wills that we did a while back. So check out the YouTube channel and get a load of them. Trust and Wills is an awesome tool. But there's a tool also called Legacy Now where it helps you put everything in place. I don't know about you, but I don't know when the last time I remember any of my passwords to many of my devices. Shame, shame, shame on me. Because thank goodness I'm able to do that whatever verification or put my pin in and it just automatically gives my passwords. But I am glad that I've come across Legacy Now because it is a digital tool that allows you to put all these documents in one space so that when I do pass, my wife can go and have access to, you know, oh, this is the code for his for the this is where the trust is located. This is where the will document is located. I mean, there's many stories I've heard where people have a trust, have everything recorded, but they can't find it. Now they have to go through all these legal loop uh, hurdles to find something that they spent time putting together when their loved one was alive. So having everything in one place digitized is very, very helpful. So that's another tool I would love to share with you, or just check it out yourself, Legacy Now. So reach out to me, Courtney, estateproservice.com, 919-341-1992, or Courtney, I already said that, at estateproservice.com. This is the Life in Transitions Experts YouTube channel, podcast, Facebook group. Would love a like, would love a subscription. It helps me get out to more people. This is something very passionate about sharing with folks. Um, this is an awesome way for us to, cement and share our legacy. And yeah, would love to be a part of your journey. I'm not an attorney or giving legal or financial advice, just sharing my experience here. But I hope it's helpful to you. So, Life and Transitions Experts, let your